Welcome to this video. Today's topic, as you probably already could tell, is a complete Make AI tutorial for beginners, whether it is you implementing it into your own business, whether it is you implementing it for your clients as an AI agency. This video is absolutely brought to you by Morning Labs. This is my personal agency. So if you want to skip the learning and instantly get it done by a professional, down below is a link to work with me on my website. But nonetheless, let's actually automate. By the way, this will be a completely follow along video, so you can open up Make AI with me right now through the link in the description. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. And learn on the job so it gets deeper and deeper into your knowledge system. So let's actually move on and get to automating. So on the agenda today, we have number one, we're going to wrap around important concepts and determine what Make AI even is, because this will be a bit of a longer video and we kind of need to lay the foundation and actually determine, is this something for us and is this something that we can use? Because similar to a house, you do not start with the roof, you do not start with the advanced stuff, you start with the foundation, with the basics. So this is what we're going to have to focus on. Number two, we're going to look at the basis of Make and have a first dive into the novice training, even though it already will be a bit advanced. Number three, we're going to grasp concepts and very different things that incorporate AI, because we don't simply want to get an automation, we want to maybe even throw AI into it, whether it is ChatGPT, DALL-E, DaVinci, whatever you want. And the bonus will be tips for your first automation, what could go wrong, how to fix certain errors, and how to handle this whole new concept of making automations with AI. So without further ado, let's head straight into it. So first we have to determine who is Make AI for and what is it even. Now, whilst this can be a very difficult and very tricky question to answer, a thing that might help would be, who is it not for? So let's head with that. So first of all, who is Make AI not for? This isn't for the typical hustlers which think I can do it myself, or basically wasting 12 hours of their very precious and valuable time to learn, set skill and to implement it themselves. We want to work smart, not hard. Of course, everything is doable manual. You can hire VAs, you can hire anybody you want. However, it is most likely that you want to run and streamline your operations efficiently without the need of manual labor. So this is exactly what Make AI comes to. Second of all, for an organized CEO, because basically the biggest pain point of Make is chaos, as simple as it is, and you will need to stay on top with folders, sections, and specific naming to keep everything running smoothly and to sail the sea safely from the beginning. Number three, the old school entrepreneur, because of course everything can be done manually, as I said, but isn't a car a bit smoother to drive in automatic than in manual? Well, to be honest with you, headache staff as in VAs from India or any other country, it's so 2020. We are living in the future. So let's actually get to that, save your money and save your time. So what does Make AI actually do? What is it? And for this, it is a bit tricky because, well, we can imagine Make simply as a cook. A cook, right? He has all those different ingredients and then lists them, washes them and puts them into order until one final piece of content is produced, one final piece of, let's say, this burger is produced. And similar to that, Make AI functions as well. Because in our case, Make AI simply acts as something that connects all those apps together, such as Instagram, Zapier, ChatGPT, Mail, and WordPress. Some of you might know and recognize a few on the board here, but Make AI simply acts as someone who puts it all together, and it's one simple to use platform where you basically link all the softwares and put everything into one place where you can then automate it and a final product will appear, which is either you having saved time or you having saved money. How Make AI does this is simply said through APIs, through the use of APIs. Now, what is an API and how we can incorporate it? We're going to get into that now. So what actually is an API? Now, don't worry, that's the most advanced thing you'll learn today. But an API is simply said, the key definition, if we put it straight into Google, into the searching machine, it's application programming interface. And if you ask us as our agency, it basically allows communication between two softwares. It's more or less like a phone line, and we'll get into the example now because this is something that sums it up very well. So if you're phoning somebody, you have to first of all get the number and put it into your cell phone, and then you have a connection, right? You speak through the phone, doesn't matter where you are. Here we have an Austrian number and a US number. It doesn't matter where you are. Simply said, you can communicate between each other fluently without too much delay. An API in this case is the phone number, because the phone number allows you to call up your friend and get information from your friend. Then you can use the information on your own, however you like it. But first of all, you need to have the phone number in order to get to your friend. If you had the wrong phone number, you would get to another person, maybe in the same state, but in the wrong household, in the wrong neighborhood. And this way, if you have the correct API or the correct phone number, then you can call your friend directly and request direct information. Because chances are, if you want to book a table at your favorite restaurant, you will have to call that restaurant. However, you don't want to end up calling McDonald's. Don't worry, as I said, this is the most complex thing you will have to grasp in this video. So let's actually move on. The automation bodies, which are very, very important to understand here, are segmented in 3 types of things. First one are the triggers. Triggers can be forms, emails, messages, receiving content, viewing a new row being added on Google Sheets. Triggers can be anything. What triggers do is simply said they trigger a reaction, as in the name, and they are, well, triggers for the start of automation. Meaning that, let's say, Make detects a change in the pricing list of your Google Sheet. It's going to trigger a reaction, which is then going to put it into outcome. What we put onto a trigger is the action, and the action is basically anything that you want it to be. It's sending emails, sending contracts, sending messages, get data, make calls, etc. And where it gets interesting is number 3. It's filters and miscellaneous. Since filters act as filters, as I said, they have if/all type of questions. For example, you want to set up something that calls people. You want to only call them if they have a SaaS agency or if they have, let's say, a burger place. You do not want to contact the people who have a Italian place. You want to only contact the people who have a burger place. This is a filter. A miscellaneous is simply said just from ChatGPT to DaVinci to literally anything else that can be on the list that isn't classified into a specific charter. Now, without too much talking, let's actually get to work, because time is money and I value your time. By the way, I hope you value my time as well. So if you've enjoyed the video so far, I would massively appreciate a like and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Again, if you want to work with me directly, you can click the first link down below, which will take you to my website where you can fill out a form, and we're going to take care of the rest. However, if you want to do it yourself, you have my deepest respect. Let's actually get to it. So once you open up Make and you create your account, by the way, it's free until a certain limit of operations. So there's no cost associated to that, and you can do everything that we're going to do in this video for free. So once you've created your account, once you are ready to rumble, this is what you will see. Your organization here, which is in this case my agency, because this is my personal account, not my client's account. You will see Morning Labs, or in your case my organization, or anything else that you put in. Might be your company name, might be your own name, etc. After that, you will have a simple dashboard. Now this dashboard is just that to give you like a brief overview. It's nothing that you would need too much knowledge about. It's simply, here you have your plan, here you have the operations that you used. What are operations? Great question. Operations are just little tasks that Make AI has to perform for you. For example, one operation could be search this row in Google Sheets. That's one operation. If the data matches a certain criteria, update this row, and that's additional operation cost. So with the free plan, you get, I think, 2,000 operations. I'm on the paid plan, which is 10,000 operations a month. That's about it. You don't need to know anything more about this dashboard. Data transfer, don't even worry about that. You're never ever going to get that full. And yeah, this graph is simply said, just nice to look at, but that's about it. If you scroll down, you have your active scenarios, and this is just a basic scenario builder of Make that they provide you with. It's a neat feature, but not necessarily something that is too functional. If you want to add someone on your team to your Make account, simply go to Teams, add a new team, or get someone in your company to join your team this way. You can add users through this space right here. If you go to the right, once more, you have your subscription, nothing too special. You have your payments, which have been preceded. You have your installed apps, which I didn't really install any of them. I don't think that is necessary. You have your variables. I mean, you can create your own variables. However, it doesn't necessarily matter too much. And you have your scenario properties. I, to this day, haven't figured out what scenario properties are, so I'm learning this with you guys. It's pretty much unnecessary, and you don't necessarily need it for your first 2 years of automating businesses. So let's actually move on to the left, where we have this overview of teams, scenarios, templates, connections, webhooks, and more. This will be our main hub where we'll be mainly orienting ourselves. So you're right now in the organization tab. If we click on team, it's the same as if you would click team on the organization tab. It's nothing too special. Scenarios, this is where it gets interesting. This is where you can create scenarios yourself. And since this is my agency account, not my client's account, it is not unnecessarily filled. So I try to keep it short and simple. This is simply for scraping and, well, reaching out to IG leads. And as you can see, what I would do and what I would advise is to put every automation into a set folder. For example, I have content, leads, marketing, website. How you do that with folders, you simply click on the plus right here, you name your folders, test, you save it, and it's going to open a folder for you where you can basically drag and drop your desired automation into there, and then it's going to be in the folder. As I said, the main pain point of Make is that it is easy to stay unorganized. So yeah, let's keep moving on. Templates, this is a great feature of Make AI because this is for a beginner a gold mine. It simply shows you all the templates, everything that is possible, everything that could be done. It's from simply ranging saving your Facebook lead ads into Google Sheets, which would be interesting for some of the businesses out there, all the way to send a email from a new Google Sheets row. It can be even complex, such as update rows in a Google Sheets spreadsheet from new update items in Monday, something like that. You can, I mean, it can look as complicated as that, but don't worry, we're going to walk you through every single step of that. However, templates are something great to have since, well, it's quite easy to follow, and it also has a guided setup, so it will tell you exactly what do you need to put in, where do you need to put it in, etc. The next point we're going to travel to is connections. Connections, simply said, is just the things that you connect to Make AI. This could be your Google Drive, your ChatGPT, your Slack, your Telegram, your WhatsApp, your SMS, your Go High Level. Anything that is outside of Make AI that you want to connect is here. And webhooks, we're going to get to webhooks later down the line. We're going to show you exactly how to create a webhook and how to put it to use, but we don't even have to worry by now about webhooks. Simply said, it is just something that allows things to communicate between each other once more. So now you're ready, you're familiarized with the platform. Now we're actually going to move on to scenarios and create our first scenario. So once you click this button, these things will pop up. Now don't stress out, this is nothing that you need to stress out about. This is simply said, just a trigger. You might remember trigger from the previous presentation. A trigger is simply something that triggers the whole reaction. For example, if you want to program an outreach automation that reaches out automatically to our clients once they fill out a form, or to potential leads once they fill out a form, etc., we want to send them an email or an SMS, something like that. And what we are going to do here is we're going to add a trigger. This trigger might be a Facebook page or might be a Google Forms in our case, where we have here Google Forms. And what we want to do here, so what pops up most of the time is usually ACID or another form of ACID, which basically means it only triggers when there is a new response and not on a regular interval. So what we're going to do is, since we want to see, okay, when is a form being filled out, what we want to see then is we want to put out a automation, right? So we're going to put in watch responses, and it's ACID meaning that it only triggers when it is, well, activated in some form. It doesn't necessarily need to trigger on 50 minutes intervals, etc. However, later down the line, we're going to make this more efficient, since this can use a lot of operations if it triggers every 15 minutes. But we get to that later. So first you will have to connect your Google Forms and you will have to create a form. So let's go ahead and actually create a form right here. We're going to simply click on the plus and we're going to make a basic form out of that. I'm going to do that right now. So what I did now, and please don't ask me how I came up with that, I created a form for a medical spa. This is an outreach form and we want to qualify the customer and determine what treatment and what accommodation they will need. So it's ask simple question as name, email, number, and self-treatment budget. So what we want to do now is we kind of want to get the ID of the form, and the ID of the form is always with Google Sheets, Google Rows, Google Forms, Google anything. the ID is always here in the top corner. So it's from the D all the way to the edit. It's this little segment here. So we're going to just copy that and put it into our Make AI automation in the form ID. We're going to click OK. If we want to test it, and by the way, the best button in this whole Make AI scene and in this whole Make AI software is the save button. So always remember to save, because there's nothing more frustrating than you putting in all the work and it doesn't save. So what we want to do now, we want to run this module only, see if it works, and it will work if there's a green check mark. We can check, okay, what did it actually do? Well, nothing yet, because we didn't put in any data, but we can test it out right now. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the URL of this and put it into another tab. After that, well, we're going to just put in a bit of dummy information. So what we have here is, let's say, Elon Musk, who wants to get to a medical spa. Elon Musk, we're actually going to put in an email that we have access to, because this is very, very crucial for testing, since we want to later down the line determine, okay, is this automation actually working? So please put in an email that you have access to. So we're going to put in the email of my agency, richard@morninglabs.biz. What is your number? I'm going to put in there my personal number. What is your self-treatment budget? We're just going to answer to K. We're going to send the formula. It says that it got sent. We're going to check with Make AI, and we're going to run this module once. Now it took a minute, but as we can see, the answers and everything. If we open up all of these values, if we click on all of the pluses, then we're going to see the value of our answers, and we can see, okay, it's correct. So it works, it is connected. Great, first step accomplished. We have a Google Forms connected. So after taking a quick break, back to action. So we've got a Google Forms dialed in, and most likely the next step would be we want to create some sort of database for our leads to get logged in, right? If they fill out a form, we want to kind of save the information. Chances are that you have some information that is very, very crucial, such as budget, such as number to contact, anything else, and we want to put that into a database. So what we're going to do, we're going to put it into Google Sheets. You can make a Google Drive, etc., but Google Sheets is free. So for the sake of this video, we're only going to use free stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to hover over this and select the plus, where we're going to go over to Google Sheets. Since this has popped up, we're going to go over to Google Sheets, and we're going to say, well, create a spreadsheet, whatever, right? Create a spreadsheet and do like that. So we're going to create the spreadsheet on our connection, which is my personal email. Actually, let's hop back for a second. Let's actually not make it a spreadsheet, but a sheet in a spreadsheet. So it's all good. It's all overseeable. So let's actually delete that. Delete is simply said through left clicking, and this pops up where there are some categories. If you hover over an action and right click, then you can see it is rename, error handling, run this module only, etc. Here we're going to delete the module. So we're going to repeat the same process again. We're going to go to Google Sheets and add a sheet. There it is, add a sheet. Perfect. I'm going to get the spreadsheet ID. I've already created a medical spa Google Doc or Google Sheet. So all that we have to do is copy the ID once more. As I said, the ID is the thing between D and edit. I'm going to just Control C and Control V into make. There it is. Spreadsheet ID, perfect. The title, you can experiment around with that, whatever is best for you, whatever works best for you. We're going to use the value of the name. So we're going to get the name, and there we go to insert the value, since we want to insert the name and not anything else. It's very important that we insert the value. So once that is done, we press OK, and we're going to save that. Now we can test the automation by creating a dummy sheet. We're going to create a dummy folder. Just copy the link once more, copy it in there as well, just like we did last time. What is your name? It's Mark Zuckerberg. What is your email? Again, an email that you have access to. What is your number? Doesn't matter. What is your self-treatment budget? 2K. Cool. Now we are going to create the sheet. We have the form that got outreach. We now want to run this. We want to capture the data. It's going to see the data, and we're going to see what did it work with the answers of what is your name. The name was Kylie Jenner. Oops, I actually got another dummy test before that. So it's Kylie Jenner, and it now created a sheet that should be Kylie Jenner. We're going to take a look, and yes, it is. That is Kylie Jenner, and we can play around with all different templates there. We can put the data in, etc. But for the sake of this video, we're going to keep it short, and this is simply how you do it. You can later down the line say, okay, I want to put this on a template. So if you want to get the data in there, all that you will have to do is you will go to Google Sheets, and you're going to say, okay, update something, update a row, update a cell. Oh yeah, update a row. We're going to update a row. So we're going to enter the spreadsheet ID. Same spreadsheet. Spreadsheet is this one. Spreadsheet sheet name is the one where we have the name from the previous one. So what was it? It was the name. We're going to click all of it open. Kylie Jenner. Row number, let's say 1. So why not? And column range is usually A to Z. So we're going to leave it at that. Cool. Now it should work just fine. So if we run it once again, we're going to see if it spits out an error. It didn't spit out an error, great. So now it created one for Mark Zuckerberg. So, okay, it captured the data. Now what we need to add is the values. So for example, what we want to add is into, let's say that we have, well, we have name, we have number, and we have email. We're going to say, okay, we want to create, or we want to insert the email. So this is in this case C, in the column C. We're going to select in the value C, and we're going to insert the email. So what is your email? There it is. Value. Perfect. 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 Now we're going to fill out another form. As you see, it's a lot of filling out forms. We're going to fill out a form. It's going to be Bradley Cooper. it's great. Richard at morninglabs.biz. Cool. What is your number? It's whatever again. What is your self-treatment budget? 2K. So it's set on the message basically. Now we're going to run it once. As we can see, it should have worked. It should have created everything cool with Bradley Cooper. We're going to press onto Bradley Cooper, and we can see, okay, you can see there is morninglabs.biz. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Great. If you've already followed up with this, great. We now have the basics down. Where it gets a bit complicated, just checking if I'm recording, is where we want to create if and then options. So let's say we want to later down the line send something. What do we want to send? Let's actually, we need to keep it free, so this is a bit trickier. Let's actually say we want to send. So since this is a bit complicated, if we want to proceed with a free version and we cannot set up a free mail account, so we need to get the @yourcompany.com domain and not the @gmail.com domain, and this way we can integrate APIs. So what we're going to do now, we're going to say, okay, we're going to categorize them according to the budget. So if they have a budget of, let's say, 2K, we're going to put them in the facial treatment. If they have a budget of 3K, we're going to put them into the sauna treatment, whatever. So how we're going to do that is we're going to take a router. The router is simply what it does. It creates two pathways for us to work with. The plan for a following procedure is to get right here the package determined. Package, for example, if your salespeople have to call up that lead, they instantly know what package they would want to offer them. So how we're going to do that is we're going to do exactly the same thing as previously. We're going to add exactly the same action, which means update a row. There it is, update a row, same thing, select by path. We're going to do that manually because we want to do that here. We're going to enter the spreadsheet ID, sheet name is the name. Where is it? There is it. The name. There, bam. And for the row number, we're just going to choose one. Row number meaning that it puts it into the first one. You can also do it into the second one where you basically have a template, etc. But we're going to just, for the sake of the video, do it for the first one. Column range A to Z, and then very, very important, the values. For the values, we want to update the D row, which means we're going to search D. Okay, what do we want to insert? We want to insert the package medical spa, because attention, this is now a text. We're going to set up a filter that filters it out, but this is now a text. Medical facial, and we're just going to copy the same thing, clone, put it into here. This is something that we can delete. Put it into here and just do the same thing but with a different value, which is sauna treatment, whatever. Now with this being accomplished, we need to set up the filters. The filters, if you might remember from the previous presentation, they just filter things out, if, and, or, else, these type of narratives. How we're going to do that is we're going to click onto this wrench, we're going to click set up a filter, and we're going to label it. We want to always label it with the most concise and the most detailed prescription possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to label it with medical, what was it again? Above medical facial, which is 1K or 2K. Cool, now we've got that filter. Now we want to set up another filter, which is sauna, which is 3K. Cool. Now we're going to save everything. Perfect. So once saved, we're going to go over there and actually take a look at the filter itself. So there is it, set up a filter, click it once more, condition. Now the condition is we need to have, from the Google Forms, we need to have the value of the budget equal to 1K or 2K, meaning that this, where is it? Meaning that what is your self-treatment budget? This is what you put above, the answers, value 2K must equal to 1K. Now you're going to add an or rule, meaning it can either equal to 1K or something else, which is basically the same. So what is your self-treatment budget? Value, text operator equals to 2K. And make sure to copy and paste the absolutely same answer that you have here, because if you put something else in there, which is $2,000 or something else, it won't work. So you have to put it exactly as you've written it there. Cool, we're going to OK, and same thing with sauna, it's just rinse and repeat. What is your self-treatment budget? There we pop up all those boxes, 2K, text operators equal to 3K. Here we don't have to add an or an and rule. Perfect, good. Now we're going to save, we're going to test it out. Does it actually work with a dummy form? So we're going to press another. What name do we choose now? We're going to choose Ricky Stanicki, just a random name. What is your email? It's again richard@morninglabs.biz. What is your number? It's blah blah. What is your self-treatment budget? It's 2K. So we're going to see if it works. We sent it. Cool. Now we're going to run this integration. We're going to go and run this once. As you can see, it got completed and it got rightly put into the medical facial, which is 1K or 2K. We can see here, okay, that one of the answer is it 1K? We put in 2K. Is it 1K? No. Is it 2K? Yes. And then they put it in there. We can see, does this work? Ricky Stanicki got created. Richard@morninglabs.biz and medical facial. Perfect. Good, great. Now the only problem that I have with this automation, we can once more save, just for the sake of it, is this one, because this will eat a lot of your operations. This running at specific intervals, which is 50 minutes, will be quite bad, because it will use all of your operations up at once or during the whole day. So what we want to do is we want to integrate a webhook. So we can delete that. And we're going to add a webhook, which is here, a custom webhook. We're going to label that webhook as detailed as possible, since this is later down the line going to show up here, and you're going to have 1,000 webhooks and you won't know where anything belongs. So, well, put in your webhook name. The webhook will be Richard's testing of outreach form or something like that. For the IP restrictions, simply what we want to do is we want to create a webhook for the Google Forms. I found the plugin email notifications for forms. You can use that as well, but it's completely up to you what you want to use. Cool. Now it's loading. We're going to let it take a minute. By the way, guys, if you've enjoyed this video so far, once more, I would massively appreciate a like and subscribe. If you want to directly work with me and this is all a bit too complicated, please don't be afraid and reach out to me via Instagram, via email. All informations are linked down below, as well as at the end of the video. So let's actually move on. We're going to create a webhook notification. There it is, webhook name, Richard's Outreach Test. So what we're going to do, we're going to press save on this, and what's going on here is basically Make is listening for the data to get. So what we want to do is we want to click copy address to clipboard, go over to Google Forms where you have a plugin already installed, and we want to put it into the requested URL. Whoops, put it into the requested URL. The method for this will be post, because we want this webhook to post the data to Make AI so it can do its diligence with it. Other than that, you don't necessarily need to worry about anything else. No query paradigms, no authorization, no headers, only the request body. For the request body, I would simply choose application, this thing, because this puts it into just this code. You can also do it with this, with anything else, but I would just do that since it's the most easiest one. So you're going to press save and continue. This will be our webhook. Make will be now listening to that, and we see, is it connected, is it not connected? So perfect, now we can see, okay, it's set up. We can close that. Okay, so now all that we need to do is we need to send it, or while send it, we need to just copy the link here, shorten the URL, copy. Perfect, perfect. We're going to open up the medical spas once more. Perfect, now we have the form here. What's your name? Richard. What's your email? Richard@morninglabs.biz. What's your number? It doesn't matter. What's your self-treatment budget? And we're going to send it. Now what should happen is the hook should accept it and put the data into our automation. As we can see, it got successfully determined. Perfect. We are going to accept that. Now all that we need to do is just upgrade everything that is there, everything that Google Sheets have with the webhook. What we're going to do now is we're going to go on to our outreach form and send one dummy form once more. Cool. Just like that, we're going to send it, and Make should receive that very soon. Might take a second to load though. So as we can see, it got accepted. We can see what happened. Okay, everything is as we put it in. Perfect. Now we can work with that. Now we can get into Google Sheets, delete everything that is there, and we want to put in the things that we wanted. So what we wanted is, what is your name? For this one, to create the sheet, what we wanted for here is to answer with the what is your name, and we have C. We want to upgrade C. What is C? C is the email. So we put in what is your email. It's very straightforward, and you just now do that with literally everything that you've put in. So the sheet name, what's your name, and this medical patient, don't need to change that. This sheet name, and we don't need to change anything more. Now we just need to take a look at the filters. We need to add that. What is your self-treatment budget? Cool. Self-treatment budget. Cool. Self-treatment budget. Perfect. Now we're going to save, and we're going to just run the scenario once. If anything happens, and we're going to see if we fill out a form, if it gets picked up on. So we pick Arnold Schwarzenegger, and what's your email? It's Richard morninglabs.biz, where you can basically message me as well. What's your number? It doesn't matter. What's your self-treatment budget? It's 2K. And we're going to see, we have filled out the form, and we're going to see, okay, it does Make actually pick up on this. Once more, might take a while, but we're gonna see that in a moment. As we can see, it works. Everything got done. It's 2K here, perfect. Perfect. Let's actually check in the Google Sheets. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger. Does it work? It does work. Perfect. And that's how you get webhooks done. So ladies and gentlemen, today you learned webhooks, you learned automations, you learned filters, actions, triggers, you learned the whole UI of Make, and you learned how to handle and deal with errors. If there are any questions or if you struggle with anything, feel free to message me on Instagram or shoot me an email. The contacts are as follows. And if you want to skip the learning curve and work directly with me, there's also a first link in the description, which is my agency, and you can fill out the form there and I'll help you set up everything. And since these videos are free, the only payment that I request for you is to get out there and implement it into your business to save yourself time and a like and subscribe. These are all the things that I request. Let's help together other entrepreneurs and make their lives easier. So without further ado, I wish you all the best in your automation journey, and I thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.